Hello once again, Aries. Dadhichi here with your June 2020 forecast. Thanks for joining me. It's a really important month, and this whole year's been important. I think we're going to look back at it as the year of 2020 hindsight. But let's just start your horoscope animating here. 1st of June 2020, you can see the moon swinging around here. And as I said, the important thing to look at this month are these retrograde planets in your horoscope. 4 of them actually, if we disregard these nodes, the karmic points, which are usually moving in reverse. We see that a lot of different areas of your life are being touched by these retrograde planets. You note here on the 6th, the moon moving into the full moon phase. And that brings us to the first retrograde planet, because the full moon takes place in Sagittarius, your 9th house. Jupiter is the ruler of your 9th house. There's that full moon there on the 6th. At the same time, let's keep our eye out here on this Venus and Sun. I'm trying to jump around quite a few things. Let's just take one thing at a time. This 9th house, which is your spirituality, your higher learning. Jupiter being retrograde, along with these other planets, doesn't only mean going back into the past and taking a revisionary pause, as I call it. It's got to do with looking at this moment. Retrogression is all about going back over things. We could say that that's a form of remembering, but that's also a form of mindfulness in this present moment, being mindful of what you're doing. It's very easy to project our awareness out to other areas and to get distracted. So this month, the important retrogression of Jupiter, along with that full moon in the 9th house, I would say underpins a lot of what you do. This moon moving into the conjunction of Mars is squaring Venus here, which has had the combustion of the Sun. In other words, the 7th house, ruled by Venus, your marital affairs, your personal relationships, are going to be affected by this. And note also that Venus is retrograde. So there's another area of your life that needs some sort of revision under this particular transit. It's going to be difficult being in the 3rd house because it's a house of communication. So you may be looking at going back over old agreements, trying to ratify what it was that you both suggested you would adhere to make the relationship better. But those squares from Mars and the moon, or rather the moon actually, make it a little bit difficult to adhere to that. So you maybe need to revamp what your understanding is. A little bit of an interesting financial intensity there around the 18th when the moon transits Uranus. That's something that's going to happen each month now as it comes around here. The relationship side of things is also highlighted on the 19th by the moon transiting Venus, and you'll see here shortly around the 20th, 21st, maybe a little bit later here, the new moon taking place here in your 4th house, which has to do with your domestic affairs, your mother, your personal feelings. Here we have Mercury retrograde ruling your 6th house and 3rd house. So the 6th house is what Western astrologers consider to be the debts. So you may have some debts here, and the new moon taking place here shows a whole new revamp. There Mercury also goes into retrogression on the 23rd. So there's a lot of energy, a lot of focus on your domestic affairs. And because Mercury is the debt planet, you may need to rethink the way you've been servicing loans associated with your house, your mortgage, that sort of thing. Not a bad thing. You might actually find you come out on top with renegotiation, if I could put it that way. Pluto also rules an aspect of this because it rules this 8th house, which is your bank debts, your annuities, your insurances and that type of thing. So maybe it's an appropriate time for you to get out there, go and talk to your bank manager and see if you can't secure a better deal. Work also is under the hammer here with the retrogression of Saturn. It rules your 10th house of profession, as well as your profitability and friendships. Also, this 11th house is everything to do with what it is you particularly wish to achieve in life. So when the retrogression is taking place, Aries, it means a rethink, maybe going down a few tributaries. You need to look at maybe sidestepping some of the obstacles, maybe even doing something completely different to get back on track. It might seem like you're moving further and further away from your goal, but actually that's only going to serve to help you achieve what you want in the long term. So the real focus here, the real turning over of the new leaf, is associated with this 4th house. The final day of the month, the moon completes its journey here in the 7th, and then it just moves to the 8th house in the latter part of its cycle here. So actually that banking, finance, shared resources, and also relationship intimacy is indicated by the moon here in this 8th house. Take a look at astrology.com.au. I've got more there for you. We've got the weekly horoscopes as well now that I've got up, just in case you didn't know. That's astrology.com.au. If you're looking for a more personal reading, God only knows we need some sort of direction at the moment with what's happening in the world. And I'm more than happy to make myself available. If you've got any questions, we can organise an appointment. I'll show you how to do that. Subscribe to our channel, drop me a line, and until next month, take care.